Hi everyone, my name's Louise. I'm going to take you through a short, sweet and small practice. It's just maybe for about 10 minutes or something like that. We can maybe try and get it all into that time. So short and sweet, small is the area which I'm working in. So it just goes to show that you can kind of do your yoga practice really kind of in quite a small space. And in a short space of time as well. I know lots of people, if you're working or if you don't really feel as if you can commit to a full hour practice or something like that, especially sat down on YouTube, it's sometimes easier to kind of pick up on the smaller ones. So short and sweet, here we go. So no excuses now. So the mat, generally a yoga mat, the general size mat is going to be 2 foot by 6 foot. So you can see I've run out of a little bit of space and I've got it there, but I will be kind of overlapping slightly at this side. So first one we're going to do, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll notice I call this the kettle stretch. So you can check out the other videos maybe just to see why. So we're just going to start just by pressing the hands down into the desk or into your tabletop or into a kitchen worktop. So pressing down with the arms but also drawing back. Now make sure the body feels fairly kind of soft and pliable. If you're tight in your back, soften your knees slightly. Otherwise, just spread out with the toes and then start to work just to ease back. So more importantly, to get the back nicely stretched out. If you're hunched up with the legs straight, soften those knees and you'll get a little bit more of a stretch out and ease out through the back. So we're working to lengthen out through the spine. All this is about creating space. And then we can maybe start just to straighten out with the legs slightly. So we're holding there just for a few breaths, or on the kettle stretch, just for the time it takes for the kettle to boil. Okay, so keep your ears in line with your arms. And ideally you want to have your ankles underneath your hips. So great for the whole of the back of the body, getting a lovely stretch there. Yeah, then we start to walk back in. And we'll come up. If you're pressing onto a worktop, or even if you're pressing into the wall or the door, then it's fine. You can still do this. So we can just press the hands down or into the wall. And then we work to lift and pull up. Edge your hips slightly forward. Imagine that your pelvis is a fruit bowl. So we're keeping it level. And then we're pressing down. We're looking up towards the ceiling. So we get that nice opening through the chest. And then we can bring it back down again. Okay, we're going to go back into that first stretch. So we're just coming back to where we were. I'm going to take my hands slightly forward this time and just stretching out. So I'm going to take this now into a variation on Virabhadrasana 3. So I'm going to use the wall, pressing into the wall. That's going to help keep my hip facing down towards the floor. And my hands, palms are facing in towards each other. As they would be doing if you were doing this pose kind of with a little bit more space, your hands would be just stretching out in front. Again, just working out and pulling out, lengthening out through the back of the body, right through the back of that leg there. And we'll also feel this on the standing leg. Then we can bring that leg down, just place it straight in. Okay, it's short and sweet, so we're just going to go straight onto the other side. So we stretch back. So hopefully we've got the hip facing down towards the floor, and we've not really got that leg flying off too high. So if we keep the foot just pressing into the wall, it's going to keep it level. We'll take a breath or two there. And then we can bring that leg back in. Soften the knees a little bit and push away from the hands. And then work to pull yourself up. Okay, so then we can work it into Virabhadrasana 1. So I'm going to take my right leg forward. It's a variation of that. It's more of a crescent lunge. So Virabhadrasana 1, you would have the back heel down. We're going to keep the back heel lifted. So we're just going to work on the ball of the foot and the toes, keeping that leg straight, back leg straight. Front leg, we bend it. Now, if we imagine that our pelvis is like a fruit bowl, so if you're tight in the back, tight in the lats, you're going to end up tipping forward and the belly will come forward. Soften that back knee, level up with your pelvis, then you can work to straighten out with that back leg. You will feel then that'll pull into the hip flexor right at the top of the thigh of that back leg. Now the hands can either stay pushing down onto the worktop, or onto your desk, or into the wall. And you can also take the arms up over the head, stretching up. So feel a long stretch out right out of the hips as you take the arms up. Okay, if that pulls at all into your back, before you take the arms up, bend the arms in, little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, and then take your arms up. And it'll just take it out of the back a little bit. Okay, and then we'll come down, and we can straighten the leg out, soften the knee, step it in, and then go back with the other leg. So taking it back, okay, we're going to start, then make sure that your pelvis is level. I know I get a particularly tight band across my back, so sometimes it's nice just if you see me, I have usually a slight bend in the knee. That's to level out the pelvis, and then we can just start to bend that front knee. Keep that front knee level so the knee is directly on top of the ankle bone. It's going to keep it nice and safe. So pelvis is level, back leg is going a little bit straighter, and then we can take the arms up, stretching up out of it. Again, if you need to, so you can take a few breaths there, if you need to, if you feel when you take the arms up that it pulls across this band here and it makes your belly tip forward, bring your arms in, little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, and then take your arms up. You can still feel a good stretch from it there. Okay, and then we bring it back down again. So back down onto here, we can straighten the leg out, soften the knee, and we step back in. Okay, so from here, so we've done all nice long linear stretches, so we can start just to take it out a little bit to the side. Now you're going to see the back of me on the first side when we do it. So it's Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So we're going to be sideways on, and again using either the work top. You can either push your foot into the wall or into a chair if you feel your work top or the desk is a little bit high or something. This is a little bit lower height actually for me, but just it doesn't matter too much. It's more the quality of how you do in the pose. If it's too high, so this bum cheek will stick up and the leg will be slightly bent. You need to be strong on that standing leg, and then we need to ease this bum cheek down and in. So it comes down and in. This starts to straighten the leg, push away through your heel, keep your toes up and pulling back up towards the body. So we're keeping that bum cheek tucked right in. Our left hip is pulling back, so we're starting off on that right side. Now we can take the right arm, push it into the leg, so it keeps your chest facing then forward as we've got the leg out to the side. And then from there we can take the arms up over the head. So you can have a quick glance up, make sure that the arms are level if you're not using a mirror. So take a breath, and then bringing the arms down, and just nice and gently bring that leg back in. Okay, so it's really going to start to open up and really work the hips, so we can start to take the hips then in a nice full range of movement. So we can start now just to take the other side up, so left leg. So we stand strong on this standing leg. So our left bum cheek is tucking in, right in, rolling out, and then we're taking the arms up over the head. Nice long big stretch out. And then we bring it back down again. Okay, and bring that leg in and rolling the shoulders back. So we're going to start to move into Trikonasana. So I'm going to take my left foot, push it up into the wall. Legs are out nice and wide. So from here, from nice and wide, we're turning that leg out. Now when the leg turns out, we have the heel in line with the instep of the back foot. Hips are level. Arms going out to the side. You can even have one onto your desk. Start to stretch over as you exhale. So it's a sideways stretch. We drop that hand down, taking the arm up over the head. So we turn, we look up, and then we come back up again. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to push my foot into the wall. I'm going to turn out, arms out to the side. We exhale as we go over. We drop. Oh, I've just done the same side again, haven't I? So we're going to just go over to the other side, arms out, and then extend. Oh, and I've just missed my 10-minute timer. So we'll be over by about 1 minute or so maybe about 11 minutes. Okay, so we're Trikonasana. So we're going over to the side. We bring it down, taking the arm up over the head. Take a breath there and bring it back up again. So we step back in, bring the legs back together. Okay, so again, we've got really opened up in the hips. Our last final pose that we're going to do on this series is going to be Virabhadrasana 2. So a little bit wider with the legs. We turn out. So again, get the heel in line with the instep of the leg that you're moving away from. Nice and level, hips are level. So remember, we've got that fruit bowl, all the fruit stacked up inside. It's going to stay level. Arms out to the side. We've really worked to roll this leg out. So then we start just to bend the leg. No pressure on that leg. It's all pushing back into the leg that we've left behind. So we move it down. We keep the knee lined up directly on top of the ankle bone. And then we turn, look beyond the middle finger of that right hand. Nice strong warrior pose just to set us up ready for the day. And then push into the leg that we've left behind again. As we come up, turn the feet back in. And I'm going to shuffle over. I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time. So I'm going to shuffle over. Legs are up nice and wide. That foot is turned down. So again, we've got an external rotation on this left leg this time. So even though we've got one hand bent on the wall, don't worry about it. As we start to bend the leg, so all the time pushing into the leg that we've left behind, we find then that hand will come away a little bit from the wall. We can still push in even if the fingers are on there. Just gives you a resistance point to work away from. So we turn, look beyond that middle finger. And then we come back up. Remember, pushing into the leg we've left behind. Turn the feet back in, bring the legs back together. Just roll the shoulders, have a little bit of wriggle out. Hopefully you'll feel great then for working your day. So make sure that you do those. There's only a few postures. I know there's loads and loads and loads and hundreds and thousands of other postures that we could have put in, which are all massively beneficial. But it just gives you just 10 minutes or 11 minutes just to kind of do a little bit in a small space. Okay. Thank you. Namaste and stay safe.